Oh my goodness, so even more confirmed details about the newly announced ROG Ally X have just been released, and they're coming out thick and fast.
Force it in as deep as you can.
Let's break down 14 more confirmed details, including a new SSD storage type, the first ever pick of a black Ally X from Asus, and also a fascinating design insight admitted by Asus themselves as to why the current Ally has poor battery life. Plus we'll look at the top 2 unanswered questions we still have about the ROG Ally X. So let's dive straight in, and all this comes courtesy of an exclusive interview The Verge had with Asus Senior Product Manager Gabriel Meng and also Asus Senior Vice President Sean Ian, so we can rest our minds that this is legit and not just wild rumours. Confirmed key info 1 is that it will ship in the second half of the year, so while it could have been speculated that July or August release date was possible, this does now heavily indicate later in September or possibly October time. Now, it was confirmed on the ROG Global livestream yesterday that the new Ally X will have the same exact AMD Z1 Extreme chip as the current model, and will also feature the fantastic VRR display feature we all love for super smooth gameplay. However, key info 2 is that it's now confirmed to have the exact same 7-inch screen size as the current model. And guys, I've got to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in this, as I really was hoping for a bit of a bump to at least say 7.4 inches with slimmer bezels too, just like the Steam Deck OLED, in which that tiny 0.4 inch extra screen real estate really does make a big difference, particularly for 4x3 retro gaming. We all know that the PlayStation Portal is a very flawed remote play experience, but one of the few things that Sony got right is the amazing 8-inch screen, as when it does work great under the very specific right conditions, then gaming on this bigger screen size is pretty fantastic. Linked to this as key info 3 is that we can now pretty much rule out a glorious OLED screen, as there was zero mention in the official livestream announcement yesterday and also in this article. Myself and many of us, like our great viewer Maz, really were hoping for a glorious OLED screen on the Ally X. So are you gutted that this and also a bigger screen isn't happening? Let us know in the comments. Key info 4 is confirmation of a newly black coloured ROG Ally X, with The Verge even posting a pic of this new black taken by Asus themselves, and many of us really were hoping for a new colour of the Ally, so this is fantastic. Although this does bring up an unanswered question we'll get to in a moment. So it was revealed on the livestream yesterday that the Ally X will have more than the current 16GB of RAM, which pretty much confirms 32GB. But new key info 5 is that it should have a longer M.2 2280 SSD, which will make it more easy for those of us who do want to expand the internal SSD storage compared to the current M.2 2230 setup. New key info 6 is that the Ally X will be more repairable, with redesigned joystick modules that can be swapped out easier. For me, the thumbsticks on the Ally do feel pretty great, but I do hear often that there are gamers who just aren't a big fan of how loose the Ally thumbsticks feel. So do you enjoy the more loose vibe, or would you prefer stiffer thumbsticks? Let us know in the comments. At 7 is that the Ally X will have revised grips, with the D-pad, joysticks and also triggers will all be slightly tuned, which I guess means tightened up perhaps. At 8 is that the Ally X will have a rearranged motherboard layout, presumably to move the SD card slot away from the heat vents, although Asus still denies that any SD card issues were the result of overheating by the vents.
Oh, okay.
At 9 is that we got info on an ROG Ally 2, and it's confirmed that Asus are following Valve's philosophy in only bringing out a true successor only when a significant performance boost can be attained, which alludes to only when a Z2 Extreme chip in a year or two is available. For key info 10, Asus confirmed that they are open-minded in exploring other operating systems, but they are sticking with Windows as it brings, and I quote, inclusiveness of all different game platforms instead of relying on Steam. Key info 11 is that the Ally X will be, and I quote, slightly heavier than the current model due to the bigger battery. And this links with key info 12 in that the Ally X will have a revised shell, which in plain terms mean that the design of the handheld, such as the curves and edges, will be changed somewhat, which we can make out a little bit in this pic of the Ally X from Asus. The reason for this links into key info 13, which is to cram a substantially larger battery pack into this new design of the Ally X. that this will be a substantial battery life improvement, not looking at 30 to 40% more, but way more than that. And this is the crucial part, in that when the Verge stated they love a worst case scenario of 3 hours battery life for AAA gaming, up from the current hour and a half, Asus pretty much confirmed this by stating it won't disappoint this worst case scenario. And we got a fascinating insight into Asus thinking behind the smaller battery in the current Ally, as they thought us gamers would have preferred a lighter weight device instead of a bigger, heavier battery. But they saw the desperate and often hilarious lengths some users went to get extra battery life. What do you think about this? Do you prefer portability or a longer battery life? Let us know in the comments. And finally, at 14 is that it was confirmed by Asus that they have zero plans to sell this upgraded battery to us original Ally owners, presumably due to it being bigger and needing a bigger shell as mentioned earlier. So what are the two biggest questions we still have about the ROG Ally X? The first is, will this new handheld only come in black, or will a white version just like the current one still be available as an option to purchase? And the second question is a big one, and that is price, with Asus stating it will be more expensive than the current Ally, but can they keep it at that $699 price tag or under, which will be crucial on just how successful this new ROG Ally X will be, as stated by our awesome viewer Jinx, who always provides very astute observations. I totally agree with another of our regular and always awesome viewers in our community, Droid, in being happy that Asus are continuing to support the brand and improving the software. So high five, Asus.
And totally redeem yourself.
I'd love to know what you think about all of this new confirmed info, such as the much bigger battery, it being heavier, and the new black colour option. Has it tempted you to think about upgrading or buying one, or are you just waiting for the proper Ally to your successor? Let us know in the comments. Hey, hit like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and enable notifications to be the first ones to catch all this Ally X update content. And as a thank you for watching right to the end of the video, I'd love to share this awesome quote. Don't change yourself so other people will like you. Be yourself so that the right people will love you. It's pretty exhausting trying to get people to like us all the time, but let's just be ourselves and we'll soon find out who our true friends and closest family members are. So stay encouraged today, guys. And check this video out if you want to know the 7 key features of the biggest ever update to Armory Crate in version 1.5 coming this July, including this gorgeous carousel game library setting. I appreciate every single one of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.